Fuck that house now. I'm back. To the top, I'ma make it. Niggas just can't take it. To the top, I'ma make 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 it.
Yo, Nets Kingdom was good. We back live, y'all. Shout out Nets Gang, shout out Nets Nation. It's We Go Harden and in the building. We got special guests with us. We got Brandon Scoop B. Robinson, one of the best journalists in the game right now. You guys know what it is. Scoop, I just want you to tell the people a little bit about yourself. Just a little bit about your story so they know, where you're from.
So Brandon Scoop B. Robinson, NBA analyst at Bally Sports Network. I'm not new. I've been in the game probably since, officially you could say 12 with the Nets back when they were in New Jersey hosting a show called Net Slamming Planet with Albert King, Evan Roberts, but really been in the industry since 6 in my family's sneaker store in Harlem. I claim both New Jersey and New York City. I grew up in both. Harlem, northern New Jersey. Only time I ever left either is when I went to college in the Philadelphia area. I'm an alum of Eastern University in St. Davis, Pennsylvania. So, I've been in the industry a while, and I'm glad to be with you guys. Enough about me. I
just want to let them know because the people know you're legit out here. Like they see you on Twitter, they see you, you know what I'm saying, making big reports. And we're gonna get into the Kyrie talk later. But what I first want to get into is what are the biggest concerns you have for the Nets? And right now the Brooklyn Nets are 18-8. We're 6th in defense, 10th in offense with 109 points per game. And then we look at KD and Harden's stats right here. KD's averaging basically 28 points per game. Harden is averaging 20 points per game. KD's 53%, Harden 40%, and assist. Harden kills it in assists. But we did a poll on this the other night about what was Nets fans' biggest concerns, and the number one concern that people voted for was James Harden's inconsistent poor play at times. So it's that was number one, and then number two I think was coaching. After that, so people were thinking coaching was a concern, and then but we'll get into it. So what do you think is the biggest concern for the Nets going forward?
With the players that are currently on the roster?
Yeah, do you think we have any problems?
They're still a first place team. They're I feel like we're kind of in this territory that we were in 2 years ago with the Lakers pre-bubble, where it's there's a concern all the time, and it's just because, and it's crazy because they were a first place team at that point. We're talking about the Lakers. So comparatively, when you look at the Nets, I think that there's a quarter of the way of the season that's been completed, and I think to be in first place in comparison to what many people expected without Mr. Irving, I think is impressive. But coaching, I don't know that I agree with that per se, because they're still in first place. But I'll add, I've been upset ever since DeAndre Jordan walked, mainly because last year that was Mike D'Antoni's offense, so that's not going to be predicated upon a big man. And really and truly, the Nets have kind of just been, from a big perspective, ever since they let Jared Allen go. What they thought about big men. I feel like Blake Griffin, is the hybrid, but he's not active like that. Right now,
getting the sit down. Nash is giving him the sit down.
I really. But here's the thing. You asked me about concerns. Probably one of my biggest concerns is Nick Claxton's health. He's been in and out of protocol, or rather just been hurt, or G League and what have you. My concern for the Nets is how you utilize him, because I really felt like there were high expectations for him. When Jared Allen was out, and really I had those expectations for him even before Jared was traded. I really felt like, and I said this on Twitter Spaces in the Nets world, that I feel as though I felt that Jared Allen and Nick Claxton would have been like what Brooke Lopez and Reggie Evans were together in practice, pushing each other. And it just never really materialized because we don't have Jared. And, also Nick isn't playing. So I think there was a lot of expectation once Jarrett was out that Nick would be this ram in the bush, as they say in the church, and it just wasn't the case. Legitimately, huh?
I was gonna say, like, I feel like Nets fans, along with the player stuff that's going on, Nick Claxton's health, Joe Harris surgery, Paul Millsap still trying to find his way, get adjusted to the team. There's also concern with Nets Nation about us beating good teams because we don't do good against teams over 500. That's the stigma this year with the Brooklyn Nets.
I think a lot of that has to do with there's so much good teams in both the East and the West. There's a lot of parity. So you look at the Phoenix game, you look at the Warriors game, you look at the Bulls game. Within the first quarter of the season, I think you bring up a valid point. And I think that those are the ebbs and flows of the season. I feel like sometimes it's good to lose early in the season because you figure teams out. The first quarter of the season, you're figuring out all 30 or all 29 other teams.
Yeah, it's still early because people be panicking and everything.
It's early. You're figuring out the routine of travel. You're learning the schematics of your teammates, their routines, their flow. And I think that when you look at I'm looking at these comments while I'm talking to you.
There's a whole.
They're gonna ask you a whole bunch.
You're gonna get a whole lot of comments. Just to give you a heads up,
the Kyrie fans is in here, bro.
Yeah.
The Kyrie fans is in here.
Oh,
I will.
Lord.
They know you and Kyrie.
Yeah, there will be a myriad of from one end of positive to negative to like. Be prepared to see some of the most wild comments in our chat. We have a very energetic group.
I brought my sparkling water in preparation.
But I want you to add in your take about what's your biggest concern with the Nets.
Scoop kind of hit it on the head. There is a lot of I think the biggest thing is scoring outside of KD, right? Like KD is out. You have, because I look at the rest of the team, right? And we do have scorers on the team, but I look at the rest of the team outside of Harden at least is giving you consistently 20 points, right? We can be safe to say that. So he's consistent scoring, not where Nets fans would probably like him to be. But then you have to take game by game, who is going to be the guy that's going to step up scoring wise outside of LA, outside of KD, outside of Harden. And I just think you're going to consistently have inconsistent, like one game, Patty's going to be on and he's going to hit everything. The next game, maybe not so much.
You want him to be Patty. Sometimes he's Patricia.
Thank you. Right. So that's where my most concern is at the moment is with the loss of Harris, no Kyrie. It's like you do have to take into consideration that if we're going to go forward, get Harris back, and who knows with Kyrie, like where are we going to get some more consistent scoring? Now, I do think you bring Joe back, but I don't think Joe opens things up, improves having us there, but I don't think it moves that needle where we really want it to be. But and I guess I'll ask this because I saw it, a quick shot. Scoop did an interview with Kerry Kittles, and Kerry just came out straight away and said, like, without Kyrie, you're not winning the chip, right? Like he came out firing, and I was like, okay, like it's Kerry, so I'm gonna listen a little bit here, like. Scoop. So it got me thinking, and it's like, that's my major concern in there. And then it's like, well, what can you do to fix that? And I'm leaving Kyrie out because that's the easiest answer.
Scapegoat.
Yeah. No matter what, oh my God. No matter what you do, there's no other addition to this team that will improve it where we want it to be other than Kyrie. So I kind of just like leave that out for now, but I don't know. It's kind of, that's where I agree with Scoop, but I hope that Claxton continues. Like, we can't deny what Claxton has brought as far as that perimeter defense, and he shut down Luka. He helped shut down Trey.
Hey, Claxton is doing a lot better in this era than Jason Collins as a big man in the last era.
That's a good point.
Okay,
meaning you got a mobile big man. I'm trying to bridge the gap between both eras, but like Jason Collins.
Oh, the OG Nets fans know who Collins is.
Yeah,
OG Nets fans, we know who Collins
for sure.
is.
But to that point, I feel like when you look at what Claxton brings, he's a hybrid big man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I miss Alize Johnson too.
Okay.
There's been a few that
There's been a few who like him. There's been a few kind of like, but he's
a hybrid big man, can block shots, can get rebounds, can challenge the other big man to, positions 3 through 5 shot. Disrupt someone in the post. But I think Nick's been around for a while. Was drafted by the Nets, and
that's a good point you made about Alizé, because the Nets do struggle with rebounding, and that's one of our weaknesses. If you guys know, the Nets' weaknesses are the turnovers. I think James Harden leads the league in turnovers, and the rebounding. We're not really the best rebounding team out there. I think we're like in the bottom half of the league with rebounding. So it's got to be better. Those are the things that we kind of keep restating on these streams about rebounding and turnovers, limiting turnovers and just gang rebounding in the paint, so we can get that rebounding.
But they're not really giving Alizé much play this year, though. It looks like for his numbers.
Oh, how is he doing? I don't even know how.
I mean, right now he's only playing. I agree with you can't deny the dude's energy, right? And
his rebounding is amazing.
Like
Alizé.
You look at obviously Paul Millsap and James Johnson took that position. You're right. We still have Blake, but he's only been They only let him play 16 games. He's got 1.8 points, 2.3 rebounds. They're not. He's shooting 50% from free throw and the field, but they're not really giving him much play. He's kind of just chilling on their bench.
Shout out to Alizé.
I wonder if you did have if you had kept him and maybe brought on
another wing, we need another wing that could rebound and play defense and shoot threes. That's what we need. Another wing.
You couldn't deny his energy, man. The guy did have way too much, and I don't think he knew how to contain it last year. But he was a hustle on the board for sure.
A shout out Alizé never hurt anyone.
Exactly. Let me read some comments here. Oh God, hopefully I can skip these toxic comments. Somebody said, but then Alizé would miss open shots, so he would give us something, but takes away another. Shout out Joey D. He said, Bills TV said we need a true 3-and-D. Danny V said, Dayron will help. He clogs the paint, but it is a beast on the boards. Yes, Dayron is a beast out there. Shout out to Dayron, man. He's killing it in the Long Island.
I'm going to announce now on this show that Jared Allen was my favorite net, and then I've been shopping since then. And Dayron became my favorite net. I'm just replacing one center for the other. So I'm all pro. I'm pro. I want this man to get some play this year for sure. I hope we see him. I'm not counting on it, but
somebody said if you know Sean Kilpatrick, you are a true Nets fan. That's Mount Vernon's finest.
Hey, Sean Kilpatrick. Sean Kilpatrick, right? Man. Shout out to Sean Kilpatrick, man.
Hey, at some point we are gonna let the chat and bring up the rest of our panel to ask you questions. So whenever you're comfortable with that, Scoop, just let us know.
I'm gonna swing into the next question I have for Scoop. This was also somebody asked me this. Do the Nets need shooters? Before the Joe Harris injury, the Nets ranked first in 3-point percentage, and then as of now, we are 11th in 3-point percentage. Again, Joe Harris has ankle surgery. He's been out. And Patty Mills has been stepping up. But again, like we said before, sometimes we see the great Patty Mills, and then sometimes he just disappears and goes to a little, struggle. But do we need to add more shooters? Because you think about the Nets bench, we have Javon Carter. He was going into the season, he was supposed to be a great shooter, but he's been struggling bad. Blake Griffin's been bad. DeAndre Bembry, Bruce Brown, those guys are defensive guys. They're not shooters. I'm thinking who else is on our bench? Paul Millsap's he's not really the shooter.
Millsap they brought in
for rebounding
to be the Jeff Green light.
Yeah, they brought him in to be the Jeff Green rebounding kind of spread the floor guy. But he's been going through. Like I said, he's had his newborn child, so he's been trying to get his feet under him with the minutes. But just overall, the Nets, I feel like without Joe Harris, I think we really, and let's say, well, of course we have the KD and Harden, but without Joe Harris, the spacing has kind of, you can tell the spacing is bad on the Nets right now.
Yeah, Harris, I think the first game of the season, it's either the first or second game of the season, they stepped up, or he stepped up, and you're missing that shooting. But I think again, this is the time I compared the first quarter, the first half of the season, kind of like going away to school, and making your mistakes. And more along the lines of, even when you're in media and, the old adage was, you go somewhere in the Midwest far away and make it, Fargo, South Dakota, or some of those other places, and make your mistakes. And then once you get that flow, that gelling, you come back and you get in front of the 4-letter big screen. So I feel like in this same vein, Joe Harris is out, but had surgery, but he's gonna heal up and do what he needs to do. In the meantime, you got Patty Mills, who I believe arguably was the biggest steal.
That was a good steal. Patty was a great steal. We love Patty.
And to be honest with you, his chemistry with Kev really started in the Olympics.
Yeah,
Cam Thomas, and David Duke. Those are names that stepped up in the summer league and found their way into a roster. But I think it's just a cacophonous noise that will be a well-tailored, symphomatic arrangement of music if they get it right in the regular season. And that's what the regular season is for.
Yeah.
We know what happened in the playoffs last year. And I really think that the Nets last year in the playoffs were ahead of their time. Because I think many people just looked at the Nets and the Sixers as, the foregone conclusion in the NBA's Eastern Conference. And ultimately, Milwaukee had other plans. I say this on many shows. I'll say it here. Milwaukee was like that 5th or 6th cup of wine at the holiday party. It sneaks up on you, and it's like, whoa, I'm lit. The Nets know what to expect from that. You look at Chicago, you look at the Wizards. They all got better, and
the East got better, man. The East got a lot better,
but so did the West.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Clippers. The Clippers are competing without Kawhi and Paul George.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on, bro. Like it's not just a foregone conclusion that it's the Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the finals every year.
That was a crazy era. Literally 3 straight. Yeah.
There's a lot of teams a lot of people right now are like, you agree, it's only 20 some odd games into the season, and people are already writing narratives that it's like, it's still a long season. You still got to deal with injuries. You still got to deal with COVID.
Yeah.
People got time to write love letters of failure and disaster. It's still very, very early.
Yeah, it's still early.
There's
Shane,
still
what's your take on that, though? What's your take on should we need or should we add shooters with That's what people are asking.
Listen, I think that the Nets should shooters shoot, and at the same time, shooting is what is preferred in today's NBA. So I wouldn't be opposed to them adding some shooters.
Yeah.
It just has to make logical sense.
I'm just thinking because Nets fans are concerned about that because they don't know what Joe Harris when he's going to come back. I know it's going to be a couple. He's going to come back, obviously, but just to hold off right now because Patty Mills is shooting 44% from 3, but outside of Patty Mills, KD. And Cam Thomas at times, I'm not saying Cam Thomas is not a shooter, but he's not like a 3-point gunner. Outside of KD and Patty, our 3-point shooting has really kind of dropped.
We went from first to 28th or 29th after Joe Harris.
Yeah, it was bad.
So I mean, it is obvious. Yeah,
I saw that stat. And I think that ultimately, you look at guys like that can shoot or can play defense or just energy guys.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, guys like Wesley Matthews or even Rondé Hollis Jefferson, who for whatever reason people don't want him.
That did kind of confuse me because the man played great hustle basketball.
I love Rondé.
Great
man.
defense.
Back.
The guy could hustle. Like, talk about getting rebounds above your height. Like, that was a guy that was like your scrappy guy. I think maybe the complaint might have been his little finishing at the rim, his shot being a little funky, but I feel like that's something you could have worked on.
So I got a call last season, and the Clippers. Somebody said, "Are there any good players on LinkedIn?" That's hilarious.
Shout out to Al Mack. I'll give him that.
I had gotten a call last spring, and the Clippers were interested. Like, I know Rondé had gotten a call, and then they ended up going with DeMarcus Cousins instead. That call that DeMarcus got was supposed to be that actual contract, because you could get a call all day until you sign it on a piece of paper. It's not a done deal, but they ended up changing it. It was supposed to be Rondé, and it ended up being, DeMar.
There was a moment the Nets were looking for, like, there was a part like last year. I think I put a video out of, because we were trying to find. I remember we signed Iman, then we dropped Iman. We signed Andre Roberson. So the Nets were looking for like a 3-and-D kind of wing, kind of to fill in that spot last year. And I thought Rondé was high on that list, but so I was kind of rooting for Rondé to come back to the
issue. The issue with that, because I remember I have reported it back in like February, March, April. I can't remember. Those months were like bunched together, but I had tweeted that the Nets were not going to re-sign Rondé Iman Shumpert.
Iman Shumpert, yeah.
I will just say that there were some things that were very, very underly reported out there. I won't.
Okay. We might have some breaking.
We got a little vibe that something wasn't right with the whole the Shumpert situation.
I won't.
The way they burned that bridge with Iman, I felt so bad for Iman, because it's like I felt like he got hurt. He was, because he loves Brooklyn and he loves the Nets, so I feel like he was hurt. The way they burned that bridge with Iman was just, I feel like it didn't.
Something didn't seem right.
It didn't seem right.
Something underly reported. I'm gonna leave that how that may be, but
it wasn't right, bro. But he wasn't getting time. He wasn't getting minutes, and then like they just dropped him out of nowhere. Like
it was a combination of what I said was underly reported, and the fact that they knew that Blake Griffin was going to find his way to Brooklyn, and so they created that roster space.
Makes sense. That makes
sense. That's how that segmentedly went.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let me read some comments. I see we got Jay. Jay's in here, and who else is in here?
Yeah, we have like one or two more questions for you, and then we're gonna
bring Jay up. We'll bring Jay up.
We're gonna let it fly in here with questions.
Yeah. So the Kyrie Irving questions, we got to talk about Kyrie, because the chat wants to talk about the Kyrie Irving is trending. You know how Nets fans get emotional with Kyrie whenever they see a picture of Kyrie, videos of Kyrie, and I just want to give kudos to Scoop on that great article that he wrote about Kyrie. Again, his plant-based diet. The reason why you guys go check out the article. I'm not going to go into the depth of it, but
And I do got to defend. I sorry to interrupt, but I do got to defend Scoop a little bit, like, because Scoop gave you an article about information that you didn't have, and it got people talking about other things, like the possibility of a plant-based vaccine. It got you talking about how things are going, right? Like Scoop wasn't calling the shots, right? He wasn't saying this is going to happen. Kyrie's going to do that. Like people were coming at him about, like, and it's just like, dude, the man's giving you information. Be grateful. Like nobody's really giving you information about Kyrie. Kyrie's not giving you that much information about Kyrie. So when somebody comes along and actually has an ability to get some information and shares that with you, like, be happy, because I think, like you said, the biggest thing that's so frustrating with the Kyrie situation is just lack of information. And it makes your mind start thinking. Myself, like, I'm probably one of the most emotional dudes about Kyrie. Like, one day I love Kyrie, the next day I don't. I'm mad at him. Like, I go back and forth. So I had to defend you. I know you saw me like doing that.
As soon as Scoop dropped that article, I knew it was lit, because I seen Twitter. I seen mad people reposted it. Like,
it was ridiculous.
Doing like all hit. I was like, oh,
who reposted it?
I seen like Nets Daily. I seen like a whole bunch of like sports. You know, when an article about Kyrie drops, you just see it trending, and then you see the number. I seen it like just get reposted by like numerous media outlets. So I was like, okay, Scoop did it with this one, with this news.
I appreciate that. A couple things I want to lay out. This was something that I had been working on for about a month. And just to give you time frame, this was something I was working on the week that the Nets were playing the Warriors. I was in the building in Brooklyn that day. I was moving all around the city and in Jersey.
Yeah.
And if you put two and two together and you pay attention to my reporting, I think you know that I am very in tune in what goes on in that world as it relates to Kyrie. And what I will say is that ultimately he made a choice. He made a decision that was best for him. But
do you see a window of Kyrie coming back? That's what everybody wants. Do you see like a window he could come back?
I think it would depend on a couple of things. Number one, what happens when the mayor-elect comes in? I know that he's been very particular as it relates to him not changing the program as is. Yeah. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you're replacing somebody. And you don't want to kind of change the rules before you're in. So that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I want to clarify a couple of things as it relates to the vaccine. In my article, I know that some people have run with the fact that Kyrie would consider taking a vaccine or taking the plant-based vaccine. That, in fact, was a suggestion. You have to be, particularly in my business, that I'm tapped in.
Yeah.
You don't want to be seen as just the guy that's just caping for Kyrie in that instance. You can be fair and balanced. In my article, I made that as a suggestion, and I know that that's been run with, but it's funny because I will say that many people didn't even know that such a thing existed. If you go back to
it's a real thing. It's a real, like, you can go look it up on Google. It's a real, like, real thing. Like, it's real. People are getting tested. Like, if you read your research on a plant-based
clinical
vaccine,
trials,
people think it's fake. They're like, plant-based vaccine. What do you think it is? Like a vegan kind of vaccine, but it's like a real kind of thing going on right now. So it's not any like fake news or nothing. It's
it's not fake news, but there's so much information that we've been inundated with in the last couple of years that it's important to offer those things, because the information can be right in front of you, but if we don't read, we don't know, right? So
exactly,
there's that. So the other thing is that I'd like to clarify is the whole happiest he's ever been. That happiness stems from the minute he signed with the Nets. And he's upset that, he can't play because of his choice to not take the jab. And, it's disappointed that, he's from New Jersey, but he split time between the Bronx and West Orange, and he's got family on both sides of the Hudson. And so, that's the part that's disappointing. In answer to your question, I think that if Eric Adams kind of budges, or if he is able to get some level of religious exception based upon his beliefs, or if the vaccine as it relates to the plant-based version of it becomes readily available, I'm sure somebody of his magnitude, would be able to expedite processes. I think that's soluble.
Yeah.
But I don't have a yes or no answer, because I just think there are so many moving parts that we'll see in the new year.
I feel like with that, there's a couple options with me with Kyrie coming back. There's the option of, okay, let's say he doesn't get vaxxed. Playing him away games option is the option I'm thinking of. One of the options of Kyrie coming back, just activating him, because he's allowed to practice at home at the HSS Center. So the away game factor is one. Second is what gave me hope was when the New York City workers got basically a judge blocked Blasio's mandate for the New York City workers. That gave me a little bit of hope, because if, let's say, the rule changes for entertainers, which I guess Kyrie is placed under because he's a New York City employee, but he's not employed by New York City. So that's why people were kind of like,
it's still the Nets are still a privately held company within a franchise that is the National Basketball Association.
Yes, exactly.
Or rather, they're a franchise within a corporation.
Because people saw a New York City employee was like, oh, Kyrie's free, but no, he's not employed by New York.
No, that's
But that did give me hope, because maybe they could change it for performers, and I think that's what Kyrie's like, based on the performers and athletes. They could change that, just the mandate for them to get weekly testing. That's all kind of we need is performers and athletes who come into New York get weekly testing, or New York athletes get weekly testing, and that would kind of solve our problems, because Kyrie gets tested every week. He will be able to play. So that's the second option, right? But then the third option is what everybody's thinking right now: the trade Kyrie. The trade Kyrie movement. That's what some Nets fans are angry about. I mean, not angry, but like feel
it's
like
starting. I guess the thing is, it's starting. The reality with because at the end of the day, it's like I always under the impression that nobody knows how this is going to play out. I'm sure there's some people like in your situation, some other people that are kind of have like a pathway to having some more information than others. But at the end of the day, I just feel like there's so many avenues that this could work. And you're hearing that, and that's what's being reported, that you have no idea how this is going to shake out. So you're now beginning to see, and I myself have entertained the idea
of trade scenarios.
Because it's hard not to, because it's like, on one hand, like from a personal level, I look at Kyrie and I look at like the type of person he is, what he does for the community, what he does here and there, his own personal choice, and I'm all good with that and respect that. But then on the other hand, like, I'm a Nets fan of 30 years, right? My last hope was watching Kid and them like run into two juggernauts back-to-back years and just be like, oh, well, we had our shot. And now, the destruction of the Nets since then, and then the rebuild of Sean Marks. And now fast forward, this was the year that everything looked like the stars aligned. Everybody was healthy. All three were going to be there. We got a better bench defensively, and it looked great. And then, bam, this all happened. So as a fan, I get frustrated like, oh, there's $35 million in assets just chilling. Like, what could you do with that? Like, yes, Kyrie's the best choice. But then at the same time, like, you look at, like,
you don't want to put that money. You don't want to waste that money, basically. Like
is there
have 35 chilling on the bench? You need somebody to win right now, basically.
Yeah, and my question too, though, is like, do the Nets have like an internal time clock? And I wonder that. I wonder, are they just totally set with him sitting out the whole year, trying again next year, or do they have an internal time clock this year where it's like, hey, this is not changing, Kyrie, this is not changing. So are you going to make a decision? And then if it's no, do they then move? I wonder that.
I think it's an interesting dichotomy because I think that we all want quick, rapid answers right away.
Exactly.
And when those don't happen, then people get frustrated. I know that even though I'm connected on the Kyrie side, I'm connected on the net side. And I know that, communication has been an interesting avenue as it relates to folks. Like, I know folks, I said the question, have you spoken to Kai? Well, I called him one time and then he called me back, and then I called him, and then we just stopped engaging. Then I've spoken to other people who said, well, he's not engaging with us at all. I spoke to someone who is close with one of the two that are playing. I won't name names.
But don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
But I'll say that they reached out and they said he hasn't reached back out yet. So there's this back and forth. And I feel like ultimately, who cares? Because all of us, I called, he didn't answer. Listen, we're all busy. And I think that people think that just because Kyrie is an NBA player, that he has all this time in the world. He also has a nonprofit. He's also doing stuff
in the community. He does a lot of stuff in the community.
I mean, if he's not playing, maybe he feels as though and I'm not speaking for him, this is just my opinion, maybe he feels he doesn't have to until it gets resolved. So I think ultimately, you look at the NBA landscape, and December is coming with those contracts, and I think 86 or 88% of those contracts can now be moved. Then you look at the trading deadline. I think between now and February, this is where you begin to assess. Hey, kitty.
My cat's a regular on the stream.
Sorry. It's a Nets cat right
there. That's a Nets Kingdom cat.
Yes. No, you're good. But I think that's where you begin to assess just what happened. So I know people want names. So I feel like the 76ers and that Ben Simmons pipe dream that everybody wants.
Oh my God, the Ben Simmons talk.
I think that trade. Yeah. I don't see those two teams making a trade within conference. That's just my opinion.
Me too.
Right. So then you look at Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers. In my opinion, if you're the Nets and you're the Blazers and you want to make a move, why not consider that? Nothing I've heard, just an observation. Yeah. If Damian Lillard wants out, I can tell you that prior to free agency, I spoke with someone in the know within the Knicks organization, and their thing was, he's on our want list. He's on our who we want, but we have a short list of other guys that we're considering too. We're not going to we're not going to stress somebody who's not in our possession, who is even a free agent. If he'd like to come here, we'll try to make a way to make that happen. But here's the thing. If Damian Lillard wants to come to New York, and if the Nets are looking to part ways with Kyrie in that regard, if I'm Portland and Portland offers Lillard for Kyrie, I'm taking it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good star for star. It is a good star for star trade because
wasn't Dame our pick to begin with a long time ago? weren't we
for me
supposed
personally,
to have that pick?
I don't know if Dame would come to the. I don't know if he would come to the Nets.
Why wouldn't
he has that? He has that super.
But I mean,
he said he don't like super teams. He don't like that super
but
team
both
thing.
Dame and the organization have come out saying we don't want to trade him, and he's like, I'm not requesting a trade. But I agree with Scoop.
So again,
that's
what I'm suggesting.
Yeah, Scoop suggesting that.
No, I know.
I don't want to get off, and then Scoop said,
no.
I'm saying because y'all look crazy.
We wouldn't do that.
You know how the internet. You know how the internet is.
No, we would not do that to you. But hey, do you mind if I bring up a couple?
Bring up the panel.
All right.
Yeah, if you're joining us right now, we got Scoop, we got Chubbs, Saint, and Jay. I think Jay's in here too.
Chubbs, I'm bringing him up. Chubbs is another one of our co-hosts. So welcome, Jay from Brooklyn. I think Scoops, you guys talked before as well. You know Jay. So welcome you guys to the panel.
Thank you. What's up, everybody?
Chubbs, what's good?
Good, Jay. Jay guys, they look like sound like in a car.
Jay, I'm on the New Jersey Turnpike.
Jersey in the building. But yeah, what we were getting into before is Kyrie and the Kyrie talk. So I want y'all, Chubbs, and y'all can chime in if what y'all feel about the best options, I guess, for Kyrie. We had the away games, we had the weekly testing, and then we have the trade Kyrie. You know, that's kind of the three kind of options that we were kind of putting the Kyrie news in. So how you feel about that, Chubbs?
How I would order it, trade Kyrie would be like the last resort.
The last
resort. That would be like if push comes to shove, that's like the last thing I want to do. Because realistically, this is a 27 point per game score that just had a 50, 40, 90 season.
Facts.
Like that's irreplaceable. Like let's take away the person. Let's look at the athlete. That's very irreplaceable no matter who you get, no matter who you pick up, who you trade.
Yeah.
I would try to push for weekly testing, but you know, the New York City government.
You know how New York mandate is, bro. They gave me hope with the New York City workers, bro. The New York City workers, when I seen like they were free, I was like, oh, could this happen for Kyrie? But then we have to just see. We just got to wait until the mayor gets in the office in January and see what he does, man. Because hopefully, he said he's going to revisit it, but like I said, we don't know.
Now, can I just ask a point blank question, Scoop? Do you think he's going to be back this year, in your own personal opinion? And I don't know if you can answer that being in your position, but do you literally think we see this man playing in a Nets uniform this year? Because I know that's the question.
The way things look now, today's date, no. Because I think that ultimately it comes down to vaccines and him not, if
it comes down to New York, the New York mandates.
Yeah. So that's why I say no. I think it depends on what happens in the new year.
Yeah.
So no today. What happens when the mayor comes in? That's another factor. What happens in March? That's another factor. And I'll continue to say that.
Yeah, and just so people don't run with it again, I asked Scoop his personal opinion. This is not breaking news. Scoopy says Kyrie's not playing today.
Put a disclaimer.
That is not like this is a massive disclaimer. I'm putting a giant disclaimer on my question, but that is the question that everybody wants to know. And I've been watching it in the chat. It's what I think, and it's like you are a man closer to the situation than I will ever be. So it's like, I got to ask the opinion question. Do you think he's coming back? And
no. And I said that across the board. And in the interview that I've done, just the article shed some new light. And that's it. No, but we'll see what happens in the new year.
Yeah. And then with me, it's like, if the vaccine thing holds up, New York keeps their mandate, and Kyrie still doesn't have it by, let's say, the middle of the year, like All-Star break. Me personally, I say we should activate him for the away, but I know some people disagree on that. Some people agree on that, but I just feel like if he's still on our team, we haven't traded him, we got to use him some type of contribution. So I'll take away Kyrie. I'll take away games Kyrie, and I'll take in the playoffs away games Kyrie. But I know some people don't agree with that.
Well, can I add to that? Because there's a group of us that say yes, have him play. I'm more in the group of I think it's like you're asking your coaching staff and teams to like double up having a game plan.
You have a game plan for Kai.
You come to playoff times, and imagine if you're in a tight playoff game, right? And Kyrie goes away, and we somehow don't win on the road. Just saying, somehow we don't run a road, and then we come back to Brooklyn, and it's an integral game that we must win. And then you remove Kyrie from that scenario, then you have to come up with a whole new game plan. And I just look at it from that perspective. Like, if you're going into a mission, you're not going to bring a guy on the team, and this is not like a negative thing, but it's like you're not going to have somebody on the mission that's half in, half out. And I'm not saying that like at Kyrie, but I'm just saying
that's how the Nets looked at it. That's how Sean Marks and Joe Tsai looked at it. That's how they looked at it from their point of view. That's how they're looking at sitting Kyrie and saying, "Yo, you sit home, and we're gonna play you for good." You know what I'm saying,
AJ, pardon me for interrupting.
You're good, bro.
No, you're good.
Have you people have DM'd me and tweeted me about this, and I've been out of the loop for the weekend. Have you heard anything about whether the Clippers and the Lakers have a loophole where their players are allowed to play even though they're not vaccinated? Anything?
Oh wow!
Like that coming down the pipe for the Nets?
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Wow.
No, I haven't heard it. I will inquire when I get off the phone, and I'll let you know if I hear anything. But no, I have not heard anything.
Mm-hmm. So there's a loophole for that's LA though, right? Yeah. Damn.
I understand what you're asking me, and I the optics say that could be so, but I don't have anything to support that.
If that's true, man, New York, come on, New York, please get us right, New York, please get us right, New York, because New York got to change this.
That's, I think, the most frustrating thing about this whole thing is there's so many different like possibilities, routes, narratives that you could run with this, and it's just it's literally. PF Proof just said I look like Robin Williams. That's a compliment, by the way. Thank you. I'll take that compliment. I will never be near as funny as him, but whatever.
Somebody said Lakers are allowed.
Well, if he's talking about Robin Williams from a few years ago, that's a compliment. If he's talking about current day Robin Williams, then that's an insult.
Whoa!
I prefer the last year's. The last end of his life, he was off it. Like,
I prefer the very long time ago 70s, 80s Robin Williams. But that's funny. Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying, it's just there's so many avenues with this that it just allows your mind to wander of what's real and what's not. And it's really easy to get caught into the, and I do it myself. I'll admit it. Days I'm mad at Kyrie, days I'm not. Then I'm mad at the New York City. Then I'm mad at the Nets. Like,
oh, here we go. Al Mack just said it. He says Staples Center has an exemption. Players only need a COVID test 72 hours before game.
There you go.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, why can't we?
So what's that? So look, it's that's Staples Center. But what about cryptocurrency arena?
or as Russell Westbrook said, Crip Arena.
Crip Arena, bro. I can't believe they changed Kobe's house, Staples Center, to Crypto Arena, bro.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's calling it Crypto Arena.
No, they're calling it will be, because I'm out in California now, and I've already talked to people that are Laker fans, and they're calling it Crip Arena, and it's like taking a whole new new name and meaning for it.
But with the Staples Center, this is what I was talking about with New York. It's like they can easily just make performers and athletes get weekly testing, just like for the Barclays, you know what I'm saying? So that way it's just because we're seeing in the NBA right now, people are vaccinated and still getting COVID. So it's like, regardless, you should still get tested, regardless if you're vaccinated or you're not vaccinated. Everybody should just get weekly testing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't see why the Barclays is not doing that right now, or and New York in general is not doing that.
Just to introduce, like, we're not saying we want Kyrie gone. Like, I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, nobody improves the team better than him. But realistically, from a business standpoint, from a team standpoint of teams trying to run for a championship, you have to have the dialogue of the possibility of Kyrie not coming back and maybe trading him. I know you don't like Kyrie stans, don't like to hear that. People that love this man, I get it. Nobody makes this team better.
It's still a business.
It's still a business, and they still have the objective to win the championship. And if Kyrie's decision, whether you support it or not, at the end of the day, affects that vision, the team will look at it. Yeah. Whether it happens or not, who knows? I mean, but that it's not like Scoop wouldn't be doing a good job being good at his job or us enjoying the show or just even having a show that people want to watch if we didn't offer multiple different opinions and views and possibilities. That's at the end of the day, it's a lot of it's speculation.
Yeah.
Some know more than others, but I mean, we're not saying trade the man. We'd love to have him back, but it is getting to that point.
The Kyrie stance is in there, bro.
You have to start having conversations about what ifs and the possible future and what that means. So,
the last question I want to give Scoop right before we get into like the fan questions is the James Harden dilemma that everybody has been talking. I guess has been in mainstream news. James, you guys know James Harden. They're saying statistically he's had one of the worst statistics in his career. I guess it's debatable, but it is one of his last seasons. Right now, I think is a little outdated, but he's averaging 20 points right now, 9 assists, shooting 42% from the field. And he's just been like, it's with James Harden, we begin good James Harden and then bad James Harden. And then we know he's leading the league in turnovers. So it's like people are saying like, okay, is it the hamstring? Is it age and attrition, him keeping in shape? They're just trying to pinpoint what's wrong, particularly with James Harden's play. Why isn't he giving us the consistent superstar James Harden that we're used to? So I guess Nets fans are, been a little bit toxic lately about James Harden's play. So I just want to know, Scoop, what's your take? Is it too early to say, James Harden's, you know how you see on Twitter, he's washed or he's this and he's that, he's not the same? Or is it too early to say all that, or you think it's a legit problem with Harden?
So before I answer this, I'm running late. I have a 3:00.
Oh, okay.
But listen, it's a conversation that is going to continue on Spotify Green Room. As soon as I get off of here, I will be on Spotify Green Room talking more Nets, Ben Simmons, and everything else. And I would love to come back on your show again. I don't want to be Hollywood. I want to make sure that I give you your ample time, but I want to put that out there.
Okay.
But in answer to your question, I do think that with James Harden, a lot of it comes from number one, the rule changes have changed. Yeah. Number two, I think that this is the first time that we've seen him from start to now, to start a season. And so we didn't have media day, training camp, and other things to judge James Harden based upon. We're judging him as a Net from game one.
Okay.
We started the season last year with people thinking he was Mark Henry.
Yeah.
I think that ultimately, as it relates to James Harden and as it relates to his play during the season, I think that ultimately it's going to be a gelling period. This is the first time where we were supposed to have Kyrie Irving along with Kevin Durant and James Harden, and we're missing a member of Destiny's Child. Yeah, we want to see Beyonce, but we still need Kelly and we still need all those other guys too.
True. Yeah.
I think ultimately when it all comes down to it, I think that the Nets and James Harden have to figure something out. And I also think that the lineup changes mess up rhythm too. We've had a lot of lineup changes. I think people should take that into consideration as well.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick before you go, just shout out to Scoop. I really appreciate you coming up, sharing your knowledge. Follow Scoop at Twitter at Scoop B, and check out his Scoop B Village. I wanted to talk to you about that. I didn't know where that was, how that's going, but I thought that was really cool. Go to scoopbvillage.org. Right? Is that still going on, Scoop? If you want to quick say something,
yes,
follow him at Bally Sports.
We're still working out the kinks, but out of respect to you, I will come back next Sunday. If you'll have me.
Of course.
I will make that happen. Also, there was somebody in the comments that said, who the heck does he think he is?
Oh, BF Proof. Yeah, we got rid of it.
Nobody knows him, brother. I'm a work in progress. Better to try.
Those are the trolls, man. The trolls are.
Hold on.
No, that's the trolls.
Better to try than fail than not try at all. I was who I was before I got here. Yeah, and I'm gonna still be that. And if my body of work doesn't please you, please go to another channel and watch, because
thank you.
That process is really not productive.
Yeah, so talk, Scoop.
The one thing I will shout out Scoop is that he's always positive. And if you do search a little bit on Scoop, the man has always been trying to, from school to doing what he's doing, he's always looking to improve. And you can't complain about that. If that's like your pathway, and you look at somebody like Scoop, that's a role model. Scoop's trying to do positive stuff. Yeah. Scoop is trying to continually learn more, and it's like you can't hate on that. So
Jersey, tri-state area. If you're from the tri-state area, man, you should be motivated by Scoop. You know what I'm saying?
No, they're not. They're not motivated because people, as you all just said, people say they wanted information on Kyrie, right?
Yeah.
Nets aren't giving you any.
Exactly.
Scoop gives information on Kyrie, and people are like, "Nah, I don't want the information.
I don't want that."
Ain't that sort of sometimes, bro?
I said that earlier. The man, nobody's giving you information out here. Scoop comes in, gives you knowledge, and then you want to get mad at him for what he's been working on. So get over yourself. But
I appreciate that.
Appreciate it, Scoop, for coming up. What's up?
Yeah, anytime.
Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna keep rambling on, so it's all good.
Next Sunday, let's make it happen.
All right,
we'll talk about it
for sure.
All right, Jay, brother. I'll see you later, my brother with the do-rag. Keep them waves spinning. I'll see y'all later.
Later, Scoop.
Yo, Jay.
That was
you still there though?
Oh man, yeah.
Jay, what was I wanted your take because I wasn't in. I can't wait to your spaces last time, but I wanted your take on last game, on the Hawks game.
Hawks game. One of the things that I was thinking of, and I believe I said this on Spaces, was that, and if you hear my children speaking in the background of their video games, pardon that, is one thing that's going under the radar is these road games that the Nets are winning. Mm-hmm. It's understated because in there are a few NBA arenas that it's not easy to win games. Atlanta is one of them. Now, I don't know what their home record is, but I'm talking about in terms of crowd participation, as well as the announcers. Yeah. The announcers are, whoever the PA announcer is the most irritating PA announcer I've ever seen. When Atlanta hits a three, he's like, Trae Young for free. And it's like,
it's terrible.
Yo, man, what's wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
And the crowd gets into it. It's like one big party every time out. They got a contest going on and some big party going on, and it's like the Nets are winning road games that are impressive. And that's an impressive road win. Just like early in the season, the Philly game was an impressive road win because winning in Philly is not easy. Like their crowd is really, really into it. Yeah. And it is so ridiculous at Philly. People tried to fight us when we were leaving.
Yeah, that's true.
Because because we came back in and we won the game in the last one. Hold on a minute, Queen. But going back to Friday, it was so many people who played well.
Yeah. Clax attack. You know the Clax attack.
Yo, he's
Clax attack, baby. You know what I'm saying?
And I was actually, because I was on this mini road trip, I was watching you all stream yesterday. And one of the things that I thought was appropriate was when you all were talking about Clax's defense. And it not only Clax's defense, but it showed you with Coach Nash making adjustments.
Yeah, he put him in that third quarter, late in that. It was like middle of the third quarter, I think, like the 5-minute mark when Clax got in,
and changed the complete complexion of the game.
That's what I was trying to tell these guys, bro. The momentum swung like crazy, bro. And then when you put Trae Young in jail in that fourth, you put Trae Young in that lock on fourth, bro. I'm telling you.
Do you know it's sometimes, and you all know because we watched we've watched boxing together without going into more detail, right? Yeah. A part of it is like boxing. People don't understand how momentum can change in an NBA game. Like sometimes in boxing, a punch in the third round won't really have its effect until the sixth round.
Yeah,
like it won't be immediate. So people are looking at like you saying Clax changing momentum, and they'll be like, but the score didn't change immediately.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean.
Or they'll be like, oh, he only had 4 points and 4 rebounds, and but it's like impact. You know what I'm saying? Stats don't always tell the story of the game. You know what I'm saying? impact.
It's one of the reasons that you have to watch, and you have to understand what you're watching. And unfortunately, like a lot of times, and we've talked about this before, when you're watching on TV, the announcers dictate what your thoughts are.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll be watching on mute, bro. Unless it's Yes Channel. If it's Yes Channel, I'm watching West Channel, but everything else.
I already told y'all that.
Just to respond to this person that said we better have a chat after the game, just so you know, to see how many people are. Yeah. After the game, we're going to be having Keith McPherson from WAFN and Talking Nets. He's going to hop on he wanted to get in the jungle tonight with us on the panel with everybody. So Keith McPherson's going to pull up later on right after the game. So we're definitely going live after the game. Yes, it is the Pistons, but Keith's going to pull up. We're going to talk our shit, have fun. So make sure you tune in after the game because we will be going live again. I'm going to put out another tweet. But
before we head out, because I don't want this to go crazy long. I just want a quick preview of like, what are you guys thinking about? Are you guys excited to see the KD-led, just KD by himself? Well, not by himself, but you know what I'm talking about. Without Harden tonight with the Pistons. How you guys feeling about that? I'm kind of excited. I want to see.
Go for it, Chubb.
I'll go first. All I gotta say is, if we win convincingly with just KD, the we don't need Harden takes is about to go crazy.
Oh, you know the narrative.
If KD drops like an efficient 35 and we win by like 15,
KD has like 35, 10, and 10. And then
and we win
like
we win by like 20 or 15. I'm gonna see we don't need
just
Harden.
So you know, I'm wearing my Reaper shirt tonight because it felt like a Reaper day, and this is from the Bars Clays. This ain't no what do you call it?
Replica.
This ain't no bootleg.
I want to see
the dude sent me photo. Yeah, I mean tonight I think is going to be a great. I think tonight will be a good game to definitely let Cam play. I mean, obviously within reason, but I think Cam should be playing as much as he throws them out there.
If Kessler and Daron are on the team right now, I would want them to play too, but they're in Long Island.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah. You might see Duke, maybe Duke. DDJ.
Yeah, I think he should play.
I think
maybe DDJ. You might see a little bit DDJ tonight.
A
little DDJ. No. But I'm excited to see what. I know it's the Pistons, and it doesn't really mean like. But
and Grant's out too, so
he got hurt bad, right? They said something bad with Jeremy.
A hand injury, hand surgery,
sprained thumb.
Oh, I thought he because I remember it said indefinitely or something like that. I was like, oh, what happened to him?
Yeah, I think a report came out he had surgery, I believe, or something.
They're not gonna.
He's off for a minute.
They're gonna reevaluate him in January. They said.
Wow, so the Pistons are really, really down bad, bro.
Yeah,
they down bad.
Yeah,
they might play some two-way players against us tonight. It's gonna be rookies and two-ways and Isaiah Stewart. That's probably
those are the games that you have to pay attention to in terms of the team being focused, because when you take your foot off the gas,
we don't want to lose this game.
Dude, I was just gonna say tonight, like I was gonna say, like this is one of those games that you have to be careful because I do think. Like we should win, right? There's no reason we should lose, but like Jay was saying, like, hey, some of these teams are hungry and they come at and if we're just kind of out there thinking it's a Sunday game of basketball at the park, like we're gonna find ourselves a little behind. But
I call it trap games in the NBA. It's the trap games you're supposed to win.
This is a very trap game.
But the trap, the team plays crazy. Somebody shoots, a rookie hits like 6 threes in a row. One of those trap games.
If KD goes for 50 tonight, the Slim Reaper will make an appearance on the stream. Now, and when saying that, you know what that means. If you don't, you will have to find out.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Slim Reaper's gonna come out tonight. If you know, you know.
Because last year Detroit, who else played us? Like it would be like we would have these great games, blow a team out or whatever, and then we would come play like Detroit. There was like the Wizards, even the Cavaliers.
We
would play these teams, and they would have like the greatest all-star games they've ever had in history,
pretty much
against us. Guys that would never score would all of a sudden come out and have their career and season high all in the same game.
Yo, Rage, you going to the game, bro?
Saying that with them cheap tickets, you better. We need to get some.
What did you say? I'm going to Little Caesars Arena, putting on a Pistons uniform.
That still stands. Wait, is Rage trolling? Hold on, don't do it.
I think he is trolling.
The troll music has been. The trolls are out.
Or, hey, or this one. I know you'll appreciate this one.
Oh, which one? Oh,
that's to me. That's like when somebody says something stupid. You got your music. I got my clacks look, bro.
Once I upload the Kyrie boxing one, it's over. The Kyrie boxing one. That's gonna be like
that might show up tonight, huh?
The Kyrie box meme is amazing.
Jay, what are your thoughts on the game tonight?
Just play together. Play together as a team. You know, I'd like to see. I would say, here's my expectation, and I think people need to relax. But I would not be surprised if Javon Carter starts.
What?
It's realistic.
What?
This is where I gotta put the Kyrie punch meme.
Whoa, is that troll worthy? No, because it's coming from Jay. Wow, that would be crazy, dude. Hey, DJ Chasm.
Make sure y'all watch and see if Javon starts tonight, man.
What other point guard do we have?
I was about to say we have no ball handler point guard.
You're right.
Let's want to say Patty.
Katie's gonna run point, but you're right. Somebody gotta be at the position.
Yeah, we need someone to bring the ball up. So
Katie's gonna run point, bro. I'm telling you.
The thing is, they can rotate and alternate, but one thing that and I'm not opposed to it is because it won't allow Cade to get in a rhythm.
Out there,
Javon is out there playing defense on him.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I like Katie. I like Katie versus Cade.
And that's one of the things that really upsets me about people is that when guys are out, they don't want certain people to play, and I'm like, well, you want us to throw out 5 bigs? I mean, guards have to play. He's not like the likelihood of David Duke Jr. starting is slim to none. I mean, so right. I mean, and people who said Cam should start, what scoring is coming off the bench if Cam starts?
That's true.
So one of the things I was actually looking forward to is I would like to see who's going to guard Sadiq Bey tonight. And the reason why I would like to see that is because if we're going to be honest, Joe Harris has shut that man down this year.
Oh, okay.
And people don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
Nah, we did a decent job on Sadiq last time.
And so we don't know because he's still one of their offensive weapons.
Yeah.
So don't take this game light. It's been a long, considering 4-game road trip.
Yeah.
Get a win, come back home.
Yeah. Hey, quick question, Jay. Somebody like one of our dudes that's in our Discord, and he should come up more often, but he said he wanted me to ask you if we can get Justin Holiday.
How much does Justin Holiday make?
Ooh, good question.
I think I'm about like 6-7 mil, I believe.
I want to say he makes more than we have 2 smaller.
He's on the Pacers, right? That's Drew Holiday's brother.
He's on the Pacers. He's making where did
5 mil? I see 5 mil.
Okay.
Well, 6 mil this year. 6 mil this year.
Well, I mean, I did bring up again. Don't come at me on this, but I did bring up the idea of possibly. I did bring up like if you look at outside of he's making 6 mil actually this year, and if you brought up entertain the idea of getting rid of Javon Carter, and I'm even throwing this name out, don't get all super butthurt, but I even brought up the idea of the next most expensive contract below Patty is Bruce Brown. You know, you could per se make something happen to get more scoring or another point. Like you could do something. They're gonna have to work within a very tight parameter, in my opinion, to make stuff like happening. But Al Mack said the trade exemption. Just remember that the tax hit. But even with the player, like even if we use these trade exemptions or even take on more, you got to take into consideration that you could arguably say a $5-6 million player could wind up costing you anywhere from $20 to $30 million in a tax hit. Are you going to justify bringing a guy like that onto your team at that cost?
Hey, Saint, I'm glad you said that because you reminded me about something that you all were repeating on the stream, and I don't think it was just the last stream.
Yeah.
But you all keep bringing up Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown cannot be traded.
after January 15th, his contract though can be traded. I've looked it up.
No. You forgot
unless
the
it's
caveat.
changed. What's the caveat?
No. It's never changed. Bruce Brown cannot be traded without his permission.
You got to.
But then what's the January 15th thing though that we've read? I found it. I'll find it again. I did save this article to bring. No,
he signed. His is different because he signed a qualifying offer.
Oh.
When you sign a qualifying offer, it's a different rule where you have to agree to the trade. They can't just say, we're sending you to Indiana. He has to say, okay, I agree to go to Indiana.
The clause. Yeah, the clause.
Okay.
I
mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's not a big deal. I found an article and I thought I saved it. I'm trying to find it because
he's not going to go to Indiana.
No.
That's like what? Who wants to go to Indiana?
I understood it was that like after January 15th, like they could trade him irregardless. Like, but up until then, that he had a no trade clause. But after the 15th. He could, like, the Nets could trade him without his consent. That's the way I understood it.
If that's the case, I would be happy with it because one of the things I was looking at, and it's funny that y'all asked me about Friday's game. I was looking at would Atlanta entertain a Bruce for Cam Reddish deal?
Ooh.
Would they entertain that?
Okay.
Because Bruce is a need for them. In terms of defensively.
Yeah.
He fits a need for them defensively.
They don't got no like one-on-one like lockdown defenders like that when I think about the Hawks. Besides, well, Cam Reddish off the bench kind of does what Bruce does, but Bruce does it at a more high level. Like, you know how Bruce is one of the best wing stoppers in the NBA.
Okay, here. I just found it on Sport Track. I found it on the stats. It said trade restriction. This player cannot be traded until January 15th, 2020.
Well, why?
It's also saying
that's just the contract.
I'm trying to find. I'm also trying to find that other article, but it's stating that I think the no trade clause ends until then. So I'm gonna look at more. I'm just saying, like, this is something that like I've been trying to look into because I have heard that. It just. Because that has been going around, and I've been trying.
You think the Nets will be quick to trade Bruce like that, though, or do you think
Cam Reddish?
I'm just saying in general, just trading Bruce in general, or do you think they would rather just keep him for the year?
If it's for a clear upgrade, they're gonna do it immediately, in my opinion. Well, let's be honest. Like, yes, Bruce Brown worked on his offensive game, but if you get an offensive upgrade of Bruce Brown and you don't lose too much of a defensive edge, you're gonna go for that trade.
I feel like the Hawks would give up Cam because, like, first of all, they don't use Cam Reddish right, bro. They don't use Cam Reddish, and I feel like they have no confidence in Cam Reddish. So it's like they gotta just to answer your question, DJ. I think they would consider it. I think they consider it because Bruce has played big time minutes in the playoffs before, and he's shown himself last year. So
I'm gonna tell you another reason why I thought of that trade because. Atlanta, I think we've discussed on the stream like weeks or at least a month ago about the number of max contracts Atlanta has.
Yeah.
They would prefer to play DeAndre Hunter over Cam Reddish. And they're both up for it this summer.
I forgot they are. Yeah, so, he's on their rookie deals. They're on their rookie deals.
Right.
I found it okay.
And so the reason why I was like it would be a fair trade for them is because even though Bruce is due for a contract this summer, he should not be getting Cam Reddish money.
Yeah. That's safe to say. Definitely this season.
It's easier to re-sign Bruce for a similar role. Like one is better than the other offensively, one is better than the other defensively. You can't definitively say this guy's a better player right now.
Yeah.
You could argue who's the better player right now.
You could. And don't forget, they was ready to give up Cam. Remember, it was alleged that they was ready to give up Cam, put Cam on the trading block, or they think there was like reports that came out that they were offering Cam Reddish up, like so they definitely don't have any confidence or like they want to. I feel like they want to move him. They want to ship him.
I don't know that it's that. Because I've seen the same and I've heard the same about them trying to trade him.
Yeah, remember all the reports came out and then they were like, "Oh, Cam, we're off." I think it was like literally right before like the playoffs or a little bit.
Yeah, but it's not just that they want to move him. It's that Trey got a max. They just gave Capella a max. DeAndre Hunter's going to get a max. John Collins got a max or close to it.
Yeah.
Gallinari is making 20 or 20 something million.
Yeah.
They gave Bogdanovich. Isn't he making almost 20 million?
Oh my God, they gave him money. Yeah. It's
kind
of like what happened to us when we drafted. Remember how we drafted Karras and Jarrett, and now they're all like maxing out. It's kind of like how the Hawks did it. Like they drafted all those good players, and now all those good players want their max, and it's like they can't pay everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Hey fellas, can I switch it and go back to something y'all said when y'all were talking to Scoop?
Yeah.
Oh sure, yeah.
There is a former net that you all were talking about, and it'll be pretty easy. Let me tell a story and then you'll understand.
Okay.
It's one of the reasons why, and I know Nets fans miss the Fro, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
It's one of the reasons why he got the moniker of being soft. And this is where people are like, he doesn't look soft to me. He doesn't play soft to me. No, NBA players think that he's soft because when this guy went to the Toronto Raptors played the Nets at Barclays, right?
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry elbows the Fro in the face when he was still with the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He looked at him and he was like, "What you gonna do? Nothing."
Damn.
And sure enough, the Fro did nothing.
Yeah.
The reason why Kyle Lowry did that is because a former Net was on the Raptors that year, and he told him he's soft. He's not going to do anything to you. Whatever you do to him, he's not going to do anything to you.
Damn, yo.
And so that's where other NBA players were saying that he got that moniker.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the fact that I named Day'Ron Sharpe my new favorite net. I thought that's what you were talking about. That's where I thought because he replaced the Fro basically.
Jared had those. I remember when they used to call him soft like that. But I used to.
I think. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say my get back to like people who would call him because I was like trying to protect Jared. I'd be like, "What are you talking about? He blocks everything though. How you calling him soft? He blocks all your shots though."
But he's not. He doesn't have that makeup where he's like ready to fight you. But I mean, I know there was like words and comments that people were saying like part of the problem with him was that they didn't quite know if dude was really interested in playing basketball. Yeah. But that as he got into the league, he became more like excited about it, played good, started playing better, obviously got that big contract. And you could tell, I mean, he's on Cleveland, and you could argue, would he be getting the same numbers? Like if he were here or somewhere else, who knows? But the dude is like, he's pretty much told you he's here. Like whether he wants to fight you or not, like his game is speaking for him. You know, I will defend the Fro, but what's up?
It's lazy when people say that when an NBA player has interests outside of just playing basketball.
They said that about Lopez too, Brooke.
You're not interested in playing basketball. I mean, Brooks' only strike against him for me was his affinity for Disney World and how it would affect him when
or his
I used to always do that.
Yeah.
Disney World show was like, I remember that.
Oh no, I'm talking about it would affect him when he would play Orlando.
Oh wow, really?
Because Nets staff would, whenever they flew into Orlando, his first stop was Disney World, and he would go to every park and get on every ride in every park on like the Flash Pass or what have you. Mm-hmm. And then so in a number of games after that, he just got destroyed and dominated because the guy be tired from being at Disney World. That's my only thing against Brooke. Is that like when you no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I feel like people always like overreact when like players kind of do things outside of the game. They always like, oh, he don't care about, you know what I'm saying? They always go right to it. Like the video of Kyrie when I posted earlier about it with him and his wife. They're like, oh, Kyrie's never coming back. It's like he can't be happy with his wife. Like
he can't be a normal person but not. It's funny. I just clocked. That's why they call Brooke the Splash Mountain. Like, I really just clocked. That's why they called him that. I was like, why they call him Brooklyn Splash Mountain?
That's why they call it Splash Mountain.
Okay.
Makes sense now.
See, Jay put the science. He put the math all together with it. He put the math.
He did this. Yeah, he did the science.
He did the science, bro.
That's funny.
Oh man.
Yo, I would say it was good. I know we didn't want to make it long. We got the game coming up, and then after the game, Keith McPherson's going to be here. Yeah. But today, I enjoyed today. It was nice having Scoop up, man. It was good. Chubbs and Jay coming up, finishing it out. But today was good. I mean, listen, I see the chat. I see a lot of people getting angry. One dude's like, Kyrie don't care about our death row, said something like, why do we care about Kyrie's feelings? Obviously doesn't care about us. Just trade him. I know people are mixed. I go back, like I said, I go back and forth too, where I get mad at him too. But at the end of the day, I mean, who the hell knows what's going to happen? And just like people, like I felt today was good just in the sense, yeah, we knew some of the information that Scoop already put out there, but just to talk to him, just even ask his own personal opinion. Yeah. Because I know some people are afraid I will respect Scoop in the sense of like, some people that are in the media world or building their whatever they're trying to do,
they're afraid to put their name on something.
They're afraid to put their name on their opinion. Yeah. And I've been guilty of that because I've said some shit I probably won't say on here that I've said about Kyrie.
That's why all the media is just sources. Reported sources telling me this. Yeah, sources.
Yeah. But that's not what it's about. I mean, like the man gave you exactly. Jay made a good point too when towards the end after Scoop got off. It's like we're all clamoring for information. Scoop gives you some information, whether you agree with it or not, or never, whether you think it's real or not. It's like the same thing with Jay. Jay, people question Jay all the time. Jay will come out and say some shit, and then like a week or 2 weeks, a month later, that information comes out, and then people still question him. It's just some people have information for whatever reason, but they're not out here trying to. They're not out here trying to like burn sources. They're just they love their team and they know somebody and they hear things. They share what they can on a very limited basis to keep it respectful, to not get people in trouble. And you take it for what it is. It's like, but to go after somebody or get angry, it's like, come on, dude. Like Kyrie's not out here giving us daily breaks. Like I don't see any of these reputable news sources out here giving us the same tired old like breakdowns of Kyrie and what's going to happen and who you should do this. Like, if you're comfortable with Stephen A. Smith, like telling you the information, then you probably a clown. But I mean, it is what it is. I liked it today because I like asking people's opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I'll ask Jay the same question. Hey, Jay, do you think Kyrie's coming back? And he might say something completely different. You never know. But I don't know. Today was W. I'm happy about it today. And we're going to get a W in the next thing. And then we're going to have another W stream afterwards. I'm looking forward to the rest of the day. That's my church. NBA is my church today.
NBA is your church. I can get behind that.
Appreciate everybody that came out today. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We'll be back tonight. Pistons. Any last words? Chubb's last words?
I got finals this week. Pray for me.
Pray for Chubbs.
Put some prayer emojis in there for Chubbs tonight.
Make sure you guys follow Jay on Twitter too. Follow Jay on Twitter, and Jay be having spaces. So if you guys be on his spaces, Jay will be after the game. We always try to steal him from spaces from time to time. Sometimes when the stream ends, I'll go on Jay's. I go on the spaces to hear what y'all saying.
I tap in if we don't go too long. I tap in with y'all.
I just we think, bro, because like when we end, I'll be like, oh, they're still on because you guys usually end at like 1:00. So like,
it depends on the game. Like tonight has a potential for them to end early if we just go mop the floor. But hey, Jay, do you want to let your little man give the last words for you? Does he got any last words?
Vlad, the GPS was talking. Last words. Let's get this win today. Yeah, and what Saint was saying on Spaces on Friday, I told people that Millsap wouldn't be playing Sunday, and they were like, "Why wouldn't he be playing Sunday?" I was like, "Okay, fine."
Okay, fine. No, and then people forget his family's there, his baby is probably there. I saw people trying to if I'm right or wrong, Jay, people were trying to say that like somebody was trying to run with Paul Millsap's going to retire. Am I wrong, or did I see something like that?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong because people DM me asking me that. Yo, is Millsap is she going to retire? I was like, what? Oh my God, man. No,
just said shout out to AJ, the real Jeff Green.
The real Jeff Green.
Sorry to cut you off there, Jay. That was too funny.
This sounds like Jeff. I really like Jeff. Uncle Wes.
Yo,
we talked about
that is hilarious.
You do look like Uncle Jeff a little bit. It's the beard, bro, and I've never seen you without a hat off, so I don't know about the rest, but yeah. I'm just saying, you do got the Jeff Green vibe a little bit, dude.
Mans might have hair like Jeff Green. That's why you keep the hat on.
I got hair though. I got a little zones on.
He's like, I'm all right.
My ball.
But yeah, I appreciate. Hey Jay, thanks for coming up. You already know my last words. I'm ready for the rest of the day. I'm gonna probably cook some food with the kids, get ready for the game, and then just get ready for another show, man. It was a fun day. So
all right, y'all. So your last words insane? Yeah, we're good. My last words is follow us on Instagram. That's Kingdom711. Follow Saint on Twitter, SaintNet1. Hit that like button, and we'll see y'all tonight.
Peace.